Hey guys, it's Rachel. First I want to apologize that it's been a while since I did a video. Law school's been a little bit crazy this semester, but I wanted to go ahead and do a quick update on how my inserts have changed for my weekly layout in my Filofax. And then additionally, I've added a Midori traveler's notebook for my daily bullet journal. I needed some more room because I have so much to do to get ready for finals and things like that I needed a little bit more space. So I'm going to go ahead and put the Midori to the side and jump right into the Filofax. I'm not going to be doing a whole setup video, just what's changed in here. So the front part really hasn't changed at all. Still have paper clips in here and some stamps. The list section I really haven't touched at all. The monthly layout is the same. I'm using these cheap inserts. I believe this was from Walmart or Office Depot, so that's the same. And then for the school section, that's the same as well. But what has changed is my weekly layout. Let me show you what's changed. Originally, I was using the week on one page on the left side with notes on the right, with kind of a bullet journal style here with some color coding. But what I changed a little while back in September was I had my friend print out a week on 2 pages vertical style off of Filofaxy and started using it that way because I really needed more time management than what the week on 1 page was giving me, because I needed to work out my study schedule a little bit better. So what I'm doing here is just trying to map out when I have my classes, when I'll be studying for things. And initially I was just doing my little to-do lists here at the bottom and some color coding here and there. I'm using those Avery stickers. These are really great, just so it stands out to me what I'll be doing in these specific classes. And I take these labels and actually will cut them in half, and they fit perfectly in these hour time slots on these pages. So I had an interim assignment due that day for this specific class. Then I had a haircut and midterm. And this is this week. So when I use the Avery stickers, those are for appointments and time-sensitive tasks. Really appointments and things like that. If I have appointments with students or meetings to go to, or I was scheduled to sell koozies that day, or due dates and things like that, I like to put those in different colors so they stand out, and then really everything else is in pencil that I write, so I can change it very easily. And then along the side, and I haven't done this a lot recently, but on the side I color code vertically to see how my day goes and what I'm spending a lot of my time on. So green here is constitutional law, and I spent a lot of my day reading for class because I had an evening class for con law. And then this day I did evidence, and then civil procedure, and then crim law, and then more evidence. So a lot of my day was getting ready for evidence. And then in the middle, I've just got notes for things. And then this is another layout here. And just using color to organize my time. And then as the weeks went on, I needed a lot more room for my daily tasks. I was trying to put my bullet journal in between the week, and that really wasn't helping me try to schedule these tasks. It was really just kind of in the way of my layout. So I started using my Midori. So let me go ahead and get into that. Oh, one more update on the Filofax is my health section. I've completely taken out the week on 2 pages from the punctuate planner. I was originally documenting my food on that. I really wasn't doing well, so I took it out of my Filofax. One other quick update is I took out the small Moleskine book that I had in the back of my Filofax, which was this one, because I don't know if you can tell, it kind of started making an indentation at the bottom here really not that big of a deal, but because I'm using my Midori for my bullet journal, I no longer need this notebook for that purpose. So I will put this Filofax to the side, and I still love it, and onto the Midori. So I'm going to try to make this quick as I can, I guess. I attached a little key to the bottom here, and I believe that was from Michael's. And I've got 2 magnetic clips on the bottom because I like bottom tabs. I do not like top tabs very much, and if I have side tabs on here, they just get in the way. And when I take off the cord, this just kind of falls out because the clip is broken, so I just kind of slide it in. And then I also have a pen here, which is attached with a binder clip. So let me take that note out. When I open it up, the first thing that you'll see is one of those zip envelopes, and I've just got 2014 and 2015 yearly overview, and this insert is from the same monthly calendar that I use in my Filofax. So that was like one of the first pages. I cut it out and slipped it in here. Behind there, I've got some labels from the Target dollar spot. On the other side, I have some more labels. These blue, pink, and yellow dots are from the Target dollar spot from a while ago. I've got some Moleskine diary stickers, Martha Stewart stickers in there. Now, my first insert, what I've dedicated this for is my daily gratitude journal and project planning. Now, I haven't done a lot with this and spent a lot of time with it just because school's been so busy, but what I have done is taken a month on 2 pages, and I just drew it out on grid paper because these are both Moleskine. The 2 journals I have in here are both Moleskine grid journals. And every day I write 1 or 2 things that I'm grateful for that day. Today's 14th. Haven't done it yet, but I have made notes on my daily bullet journal, so that I can go back and add it in. So that's just real quick, and I'll go into more detail about this in a separate video. And I have little flags to designate what these layouts are for, but what I want to do here is do a month on 1 page, just like the bullet journal style, just in a list format, and schedule my exercise here. And then I want to do a layout for monthly projects on this side for the preceding month. So if this is November, this would have been November's exercise and November's monthly projects. Because school is crazy, I'm going to just do my December layout here and then start with exercise and then projects on this side. And then that should continue through 2015. So this will be project planning and gratitude journal here. Alright, the next thing is a craft envelope that I have in the middle here, and I kind of hacked this a little bit. Let's see if I can move this back. It was just a regular teal file folder, and the tutorial you can watch is from A Pocket Full of Vintage, and both sides did look like this, which had the pockets. But I actually trimmed the bottom and took the pockets off so that I had a fold out, because in my previous Midori inserts I actually was using similar to DIY fish style where I had a fold out for the month, and this one helped me attach to-do lists here so that I could see them, and also it helped when I had my fold out to give me a little bit more support here. I haven't glued it back or anything because I'm not using the layouts anymore, but I just have it because I don't really need another pocket. And then I had this. I've slipped it in here, but I actually had it as a tip-in to this, so that when I had my book open to say the month or the day, I could see my weekly tasks, so each task for each day of the week, what I should be doing or what I hope to be doing. And then I actually had a daily schedule of how I would like my ideal day to go. And this was actually during the summer when I had one summer class. If you see here, school tasks, and then I had a night class here online. So I wanted to schedule my day, and I had it as a tip-in so I could just have it out, and I tipped it in with washi tape, and then I could fold it in. I'm no longer using that, but I still just slipped it in here. Now, if you're wondering where I got this, it was actually a sleeve, and I want to say it was maybe from the mechanic from a really long time ago, where they would slip in your bill into the top part here, and then they'd slip in their business card here in this section. So it's really handy. I kept it and utilized it for a while. I'm not currently doing it, but I always find uses for things like that. And then here I've just got a pocket where I have like to-do lists, some of those daytimer hot sheets, and then some paper flags and some post-its on this side. And then on the other side, I've got some Asian diary stickers and some more post-its here. All right. Now, this book is my daily bullet journal. The beginning of this book's been many different things, actually. It's kind of had a crazy little life. So first, it was a food journal, and I was doing, these are all my different keys to everything. Don't really need to explain that too much right now because it would just be confusing. But this was my food journal. I mapped out the week vertically, and then Saturday and Sunday were split, and I would have the times and put a little dot one time I would eat, and then write down what I would eat. At the top, bring this a little closer here, I would have my water. So let me show you these little symbols, if this is helpful for anybody, really. So here I have a little teacup. It's round at the bottom, it's got a handle on it. That is a water glass, that is a wine glass, and those are water glasses. Again, I had tea here this day, didn't document anything. And then more tea and more water here. So I actually draw little pictures, little icons of what type of water or liquid intake that I have for the day. This was working out great for a while, but what bothered me about this was all the empty space. I felt like I wasn't being efficient with my use of space in here. I don't like all these blank spaces. It's just my personality. So I did that for a while, and I was documenting when I went to the gym or when I worked out. And I started putting little emoticon things where I would document how I felt. Stopped doing that. So now I stopped doing the food journal here, and then this is the notebook where I mapped out a lot of my project planning layouts that I went over in a previous video in my original bullet journal. And I believe that was a red Moleskine. So this is where I actually mapped those out to see what they would look like, and I will always have them if I ever need to reference them. So this was, let me go back, the vertical project planning layout with the months at the top, and it was 6 months on each page, the days of the month, and then you could just plan out your projects or travel, or important dates, birthdays, things like that. And then additionally here is a horizontal view, same concept, just the other way. And then this is, it's called a D-Day countdown. So this was a 90-day countdown where you block off the days, and then in each box you would say what you did to basically accomplish your ultimate goal, and you broke this down into smaller pieces, and then you could have notes or things down here. Went back to my food journal, and sorry for my allergies, guys, and then I stopped. I did another layout similar to DIY fish, and just kind of tested that out to see what I would be doing there. And I'm going to be taking the same concept with like a monthly layout and using that in my first diary. Again, I'll do another video on that. Now this is an example of the tip-ins that I was talking about that were similar to DIY fish. So this is a monthly layout with the days going vertically. So Monday going down to Sunday here. So again, Mondays are all together, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. I really liked that concept. That didn't last very long, but the reason I had this was because I wanted to track my time, because I didn't know where my time was going when I was during this time in the summer. You know, it just felt really lazy and things like that, and I really wanted to try to plan things out and get my goals in order. So over to the left side, I was just doing like a week on a page, like a task list, like a chart, like DIY fish. And then here in the center, it's kind of hard to see with all these sticky notes, I was using creative writing, and I wouldn't call it calligraphy, but just different kinds of font to write what I was doing within those times. So I had a professional responsibility exam during this block of time, so I used larger letters to kind of fill it in, and then here I did a little cursive, and then same down here I had a little bit of different handwriting so I could show what I was doing, but in a more creative way, almost like a journaling style. I did that for a little bit, didn't last very long. But that's 1 week, what that looked like. And then did want to mention here as well, on this side of the fold out, I did have a bullet journal. And if you watch Kiri Harling's videos, this will be familiar to you. I tried it out, didn't last very long. So I know that wasn't going to work for me long term. So just a couple different layouts of things. I like to try out new layouts, and that's why I love grid paper, and that's why I really like the Moleskine, and then also Filofax, really, but you can just make your own inserts however you want with grid paper, and that's why I really love grid paper. And this was a day on a page layout that I just was messing with. Now this is when I get into my daily bullet journal, and this started November 2nd. So at the top I've left a little room here for any important things or all-day events, so like this day was daylight savings time. And then right underneath the day, which I just use a little paper flag for and use my white pen, again I have my water intake here. Water, tea, coffee, water, and 2 glasses of wine. And then I just list all the things that I have to do, or that I already did. So I actually use a circle, and I kind of push it out to the edge a little bit more than my tasks here in the box. So I know that this is an event. So I had a makeup class for evidence here, and then I put notes about when I had breakfast and blah, 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 blah. And then it kind of evolved a little bit. Alright, so here again, those are supposed to be beer bottles. I didn't do a very good job drawing those. But if you see here, I've got little colored circles, and each one of those things represents a goal that I have to do every day. So dark green is my gratitude journal, light green is my food journal, orange is my supplements, yellow is flossing my teeth, blue, the dark blue is for my water intake, and then the light blue is for exercise. So those things I want to do every day, but I didn't want to write them out longhand every single day or try to find a stamp or something like that. So I take my Statler pens, and when I usually do like a few days at a time or a week at a time of these layouts, and it only takes a few minutes, grab my pens and then just literally draw circles. And those represent 6 daily tasks without having to spend a lot of time doing it. And again, it's a little circle or an area that I can just check off that I did it when I completed it. And then here on this day as well, I moved my food down to the bottom because what I was finding in my Filofax was because my section for my health and my food journal was separate from my daily tasks, I wasn't remembering to get it done, or I didn't have space for it. I just didn't even feel like I had time to flip to that section. So I've just been documenting my food down below. You know, just putting the time and what I ate. And so that's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh, I did want to mention something else too that I've really been liking the looks of, is when I have a note about a task, I use a little dot, a horizontal line, and then the vertical line underneath to kind of let myself know if there's anything relevant to that task. So I wanted to print this online casebook, but it wasn't available. It hadn't been posted yet by the professor. So that's another thing that I'm doing. I'll mention this just because I'm sure people will ask me about it. This is another way that I was doing my food journal. For some reason it's in the middle of this layout. I'm not sure why, but I just kind of ignore it when I'm flipping through. But I did the similar to an Erin Condren layout where it has the morning, the afternoon, and the evening, because I wasn't liking how much space was in my previous food journal layout. So I would just break this down into the 3 separate categories for the day and then document what I ate in the morning, in the afternoon, and the evening, but I also would document my time. And then at the bottom I was going to schedule my workouts and schedule my meals. Again, didn't last. Hey, it was a good idea though, right? Okay, these are more of my daily spreads, and I'll just do a quick flip through of those. So the only decorating I do is really just taping in the flags for the day. I draw in what I'm drinking and then the colors for my daily to-dos, and really that's all the decorating that I'm doing. I slipped in a little note here, and then here I just wanted to do a little bit of doodling, so I just put time for finals, keep calm, and keep pushing. So, and then after the week is over, I am doing a week spread where I've got the days of the week running vertically with breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, and dinner listed here to do my meal planning. This week didn't do very well, but I will be doing that after each Sunday. I'll have a day where I do my weekly meal planning. And these labels are from the Target Dollar Spot, and I mentioned those are in the front pocket. So that is what is going on with my daily spreads, and it's been really, really helpful to get things done and see what I need to be doing for the day. And this is today. And got some notes in there. So what I'm really doing is only using my bullet journal to plan for the next day, possibly 2 days out. I usually don't do more than 2 days out for planning in here. It's just really a daily task list. I do any planning that requires longer than like a 2-day interval to go into my Filofax. So I am carrying both of them around, but they're both very beneficial. And then I've got the rest of that book. And then lastly, in this pocket, I've got some diary stickers and some washi and a couple more stickers back there. So that is how my setup has changed. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. Again, I apologize for the delay on the video. It's been, again, crazy, but the semester's almost over and I'll be able to have a little bit of vacation over the Christmas break. So hopefully I'll be doing more videos then. So I hope everyone's having a wonderful evening, and I will talk to you when I talk to you. Bye!